Hi folks, welcome to IMBike Magazine. My name is Clive Forth from MTB Skills and you're joining us for the Skills and Technique feature. Each issue we're going to be looking at different techniques and the core skills to riding mountain bikes. So sit back and relax and enjoy.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you very much for tuning in. Boy have we missed doing this, but here we go. We've got the chance now. We're back out in the glorious Scottish sunshine. It's a bit cool in the breeze, but we'll make the most out of this lovely day that we've got to get you some new skills and techniques. If you've not been tuning in, do that kind of like, subscribe thing somewhere on the screen. Follow these videos if you're watching the YouTubers. And if you haven't seen the stuff on the magazine, then get off of YouTube, get over to IMBike Mag and have a look at what we're up to on the magazine. You can read more in-depth analysis on what we're talking about in the videos, and you can go into the back issue bit in the top menu bar and get up to speed with some of the core skills and techniques. So moving on, we're progressing all of our skills, and this time we're going to look at sessioning. So why do we session? What's the point of sessioning in the grand scheme of things? What's the point of going out and riding your bike? We think it's always good to have a bit of a plan. So what's the plan of attack for the day? Are we going out to make the fitness and have a pedal? Are we going out to practice some skills and techniques and session some features in the trail? Or are we just going out with none of those things in mind, just to blast around the woods and have a good time with our buddies? So with that in mind, let's have a look at some of the core skill drills and just bring you back up to speed with getting the bike moving below you. Right, so what do we mean exactly by these core skill drills? Well, basically mountain biking is a skill-based sport, it's a progression sport, and the biggest thing for us in this game is our posture and stance on the bike, controlling our speed, slowing down into things, accelerating up into gradients and features, as well as then being able to lift the front centre of the bike up onto and over features. So when we're climbing and we're coming up rocks, roots, steps, shapes in the terrain, we need to use a power wheelie. Sometimes we're seated, sometimes we're stood. It's about the pedal timing and striking the power just right, using the torso a little bit to get the front wheel up, but it's mainly driven from power. So we go from power wheelie climbing, then we move into descending, again getting this front part of the bike up onto and over the feature, being able to lift the front end of the bike without pedaling. As I was saying about hitting into rear wheels, we can unweight that back wheel. That's one of our little core skills, is just taking the weight out of it. And we can then start to lift that up into the air. But it's very rare that we really force that shape, because we start to over-rotate over the front axle, which is the horrible over the bars kind of shape. So when we're having to unweight the back wheel, it would be typically climbing, little power wheelie, little unweighting of the back, try and help with traction over something we might be wheel spinning on. And when we're descending, typically we're going that much quicker that the time difference between front wheel and back wheel is so short, we're going to have to do what's known as the manual hop, the bunny hop, the traditional American bunny hop, where we lift the front first and then we pop the bike up and lift the back wheel over. So let's look at some core skills, and this is a good way to warm up while you're waiting for your mates in the car park, or you might have done your first climb, got the blood flowing, and you could just stop and session some of these core skill drills in a nice open area like we've got here on the forest road. So something that we can start off with is just doing some track stands. So we're balancing the bike on the brake, pedaling into that brake pressure, and I adjust the balance by tipping the bike left, right, putting pressure through the pedals. There you go, leaning it into the left there, or leaning it into the right. Using the head helps, look in front of your front wheel. It's good skill for core balance, but do we really use it on the trail? Back in the 80s when I started riding, yeah, you'd use it a lot. You'd come up to a section that you needed to assess, adjust your line, maybe even open a gate. And for the love of God, you'd not want to get down and undo your toe straps, take your foot out, get through the gate, get going again, faff around, get your foot back in the toe clips, pull up your straps again. So you learn so much to not put a foot down. It's a very trials rider style of technique. It works a lot with core balance and core stability on the bike. You're feeling little subtle gradients and the pressure through the drive. You're balancing brake pressures, and you're getting the whole working of the handlebar and feeling how the pushing on the outside edge of the handlebar and leaning the bike in or away from you. Relevant on the trail? Not so relevant unless you're starting to ride real technical stuff and you want to line the bike up and go. let's play with some more core skills. Right, good stuff. So there's just a few of the core skill drills, and what inevitably happens for me when we're doing a demo on this and when we're instructing people doing this is you start putting these shapes in automatically just on the turnaround. So we've got quite a narrow forest road, it's an old one and grown in. At this end I'm running into an off camber with loose marbles on the top, this loose stone. So I use a little power wheelie just to bring the bike back online as I exit that corner, and it's a good example of where it can come in a trail situation. Rolling past Daniel then to set up the shots again or to do my skill. At this far end I've been doing an endo pivot turn, and this time I put a roll back into that as well. These things start to grow, you start to play with these shapes. The younger generation call it jibbing, we used to just call it playing about on our bikes when we were young. And as much as it may not seem relevant in the bigger context of just riding along, just riding trail, it's all still balance and the subtleties of brake pressure, pressure into the front for the pivot turn, understanding how far you can tip forwards in that front balance point is really useful in steep terrain as an example. Remember, you're riding the bike, not the trail, and you can ride your bike in simple plain environments and it's generally pretty easy going if you get it wrong here. But the thing is, if you get it wrong, think about it. Why did it go wrong? Why when I did my power wheelie, you know, was it not quite as sweet? Did I run wide? Why when I did my nose press and my little endo pivot turn, was it not quite so sweet? You know, can I swing the bike the other way? Can I power wheelie the other way? Can I do that wheelie with my opposite foot leading? Talking e-bikes, you need to really learn to ride opposite footed because there's so much delay in bringing the drive in for the motor that you need that half crank to get the thing going. So, you know, if ever there's any real benefit in riding switch, it's when you move on to riding those types of bikes as well. So how does this all come into play on the trail? Let's go and session some stuff on the trail. We'll look at all the different shapes. Something we've not hit on yet, obviously, is cornering and dropping and jumping. We'll go hunt ourselves out some features and just session and see what we can get out there.